And I guess on the environment still, but even broader around cultural influences as well. And this, I think, where a lot of work's now going to social and cultural influences around how that shapes developing who people are, obviously, but also the skills, particularly around things like creativity and skill, and how much is it valued. Again, another example from football here, the contrast between the English and the Brazilian attitude to skill and creativity, but how much is that something? It's one of those forces that, you know, it's not, you can't see it, sometimes not a tangible thing, but it just plays a subtle role. So like my lad's 9, he goes to club football, and he goes to a FA skills session as well during the week. At club football, there's an environment there where creativity is not really encouraged. It's not discouraged, but it's not encouraged. He won't take people on, he won't try a Maradona turn. Come the following night at FA skills, where they deliberately encourage it, he tries all of that stuff. He pulls it off, sometimes he doesn't. But it's very subtle, the effect of that. But over 10 years, that will have a massive impact on the types of players we end up seeing if they do go through to the top end. And it's interesting what other sports, I think, that have a different attitude, if you like, to skill and creativity. So skateboarding, Jean Cote, who's Canadian, coaching academic, retweet an article about the massive move to skateboarding in youth culture and away from organised, structured team sports, and some of the comments there that kids are sick of just standing in line, doing drills, not getting a go. Whereas here, there's got lots of autonomy and mastery, which I'll touch on next. So it's interesting. I kind of interested in all areas that we can just pick from. So it's not to say, well, rugby and team sports need to just shift to completely that. Let's have no coaches. Actually, there's still coaching going on. There's a heap of peer coaching that happens in those environments. But it's just, what can we take? You know, and at extreme end, you may not have thought you'd see a skateboarding fairy at a rugby conference, but I've got one for you. So what's the learning process here? You know, fail, but no coach. I don't know whether this is the 3rd time or the 300th time lands it. The peer influence celebration, okay, just what's that environment look like? So what could we just take or think about little bits of that? Maybe not the fairy suit, might not go down that well, might not be appropriate, but I think more and more there's pressure to think about it, not just developing more skillful players, but just even maybe retaining people in your sport, okay, is something to think about going forward.